Hi guys, welcome Deb, welcome Asa, and welcome team. I am so excited about this call. I have been just watching the chat and what these guys have put together and the ideas and really getting into the Christmas spirit and the Christmas fun. So we really have planned a whole new look of our Monday night calls. So super excited to kick it off in 2019 and kick us all the way into 2020. So you're going to hear from 4 amazing women and you're going to get some super tips from them. So I am going to hand over to the very special and very dear to me, Sarah Parks.
Hi, it's great to be on. Yeah, super excited. I think Christmas has actually started, which kind of feels really nice in the UK after slightly odd few weeks. Anyway, Lee said. I was going to talk. We're going to have a new segment on our 2020 calls, addressing some of the really common questions we get from cleansers, both new timers and people who have been on the program for a while. And one of the ones I get every so often, but particularly at this time of year, is what's the point in starting now, or what about Christmas Day, or I've got parties to go to and it's going to ruin everything, or I fell off the bandwagon at the weekend. It's the same kind of question. I should just give up. And I think that this goes back to the core of what isogenics is, because, and we're really clear on this in our team, this is not a diet. If you want to lose 3 stone in 4 days flat, this is not the place for you. This is the beginning of the most exciting health journey you'll ever be on, because it really is that. It's about rebooting your health in every possible way, from getting your gut microbes sorted, which is, clearly my personal passion, to balancing your stress levels and dealing with hormones, and the whole system is put together to do that. So having a day off or a night off, even a couple of days off, is not a problem. And it's about headset, I think, getting your mind straight about that, because if this is a journey that's going to last you months, hopefully years, if not the rest of your life, then, the whole point about this is it's supposed to be sustainable. And sustainable changes are making small changes that turn into habits that last. And that's what the isogenics nutrition system is going to do for you, or does for you. Having said that, there are some things that you can do to kind of bulletproof yourself against falling off the wagon. And one of the things I often suggest, particularly if you're doing your first or second sort of 30 days around this time, is be prepared. So if you know you're going to go to the office party and the only thing that's going to be there are greasy sausage rolls that were cooked 4 hours before you turned up, we all know once you've had a drink or two that they look irresistible. It's just nature. In fact, I could go into lots of good microbiome, brain psychology wired reasons why salty fatty food genuinely hits the kind of dopamine levels in your brain. So they are irresistible. But one of the things that you can do, for example, is shuffle your day around and have a shake or half a shake or even half an isoline bar before you go out as you get ready, so that you're not absolutely starving and therefore likely to eat whatever's thrown in front of you. You can actually make genuinely good decisions as you go. So those are my tips for today. And I am going to say Happy Christmas to everyone. It's fantastic to see you on the call, and hand you over to somebody, but I also don't have the running order in front of me. I'm going to hand you over to Janet, who's going to tell you all about some really great recipe ideas for the festive season.
Well, following on from what Sarah's just said, this makes perfect sense, because we're not doing any sausage rolls in this little tiny bit I'm doing here. We're actually looking at some plant-based ideas that you can put together, and just different things that you can have a look at creating. So I'm going to turn slightly. So this is the array of different goods that I've produced this afternoon. So we have a chocolate mousse, which is made from aquafaba, which is actually the juice from chickpeas and chocolate. Now it's the vegan chocolate melted and put in there. What you actually do is you just whisk the aquafaba, which is just the juice of chickpeas, that's all it is, and it becomes really foamy, like it would do if you're making a mousse. You can literally tip the dish over your head. That's when it's ready. You stir in the chocolate, put it in the fridge, and an hour it's ready. It's really, really healthy. So it's a plant-based alternative. Now you've got a tin of chickpeas now without the juice. And that's when you make the brownies. So they're made with chickpeas. So these are all in the background. So these are all free from flour as well. They're just chickpeas in there. All of these recipes that I've got here, I am going to put up on Healthy Fit and Free after. I'm very mindful of time because of the things that I created. There's quite a lot of things here. Chips and dip. They're a massive thing, aren't they? Yep. So we've got here, and this is just, it's chickpea flour and coconut milk. That's all it is. You put the same equal quantities of both ingredients into the blender, blend them up until you form a batter, keep the batter to one side for 30 minutes, and then you cook it like you would cook a pancake. My tip here is to make smaller pancakes, so we only use half a ladle. Once you've got them all cooked, you can then season them any way you want. You can do sweet, you can do savoury, and put them in the oven.
I'm okay, I'm watching it. Yeah, you can go, I'm okay.
I can hear somebody else speaking in the background.
Huh? No, I'll do it, don't worry.
Heather, can you mute,
Yeah,
please?
yeah, I'm just working on it.
Okay.
Done.
That didn't confuse me. Then, so all the ingredients that we're using, they're all plant-based, and they're so easy to find, these recipes. So all I've used so far is just a load of chickpeas and chickpea juice and just put seasonings with them. Now, I've also got some jackfruit. Now, I discovered this one, I popped out a little while ago. We've been using jackfruit for a while, but we've only ever seen the great big fruits over here, and I found a can of it, and it's just in brine. So jackfruit is like a meat alternative because it shreds and looks like pork. So it's a carb, it's not got any protein in it, and you can season it any way you want. It's very bland. And I've put my turmeric paste with it, and it tastes absolutely phenomenal because you've got the turmeric paste in there, and you've got the flavour, the texture of meat in there, and it's a carb, so it's not got the protein in there. We've mixed it in with all of the salads that we've created, because we've created a Christmas salad as well. So all of these things are plant-based, and they're brilliant if you put this kind of thing together for people that are coming to your Christmas parties, New Year party, so that they haven't got all the great big fat sausage rolls and getting all upset after and having to recover and then go and do another 30-day reboot at the end of it. So I've kept it really short because there's so much I could talk to you about. But I will put on the Healthy, Fit and Free all the recipes and the alternatives to using eggs, to using sugar, all these kind of things, so that you can help build your own recipes. Okay? And I'm handing on to Julia, I think. Is she still there?
That was awesome, Jan. I'll just jump in while we're waiting for Julie. That is fantastic. I'm so excited. We have to have you on every week from your kitchen.
So you nearly got the Swedish chef from the Muppets, but I stopped.
I saw some questions going up there whilst Jan was talking. Does anybody want to ask us some questions before we move on?
Is the juice just from a can of chickpeas? You buy a can of chickpeas?
Well, I've got dry here, and I soak the dry because I think a lot more. Oh, and you just soak them in water. Oh, that's the jackfruit. Not a can. Oh, you can just use a can. You can
okay.
The aquafaba is the juice that it produces when you soak the chickpeas.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, over to you, Julia.
Okay, so this segment is about my top 5 Christmas survival tips. And the background to this, and Heather or Sarah's going to share some slides that I did just as a little bit of fun. But the background to this is there's several health professionals actually on this call. And at this time of year, we often get asked by our clients to help them with stress and anything that they can do to calm down. And just survive the Christmas holiday period or the festive season period. So here we go. Tip number 1, if my slide could go on, please. don't go food shopping or go out to a party feeling hungry. Now, this leads on from something Sarah was saying about how all of the greasy, fried, savoury, salty, sweet foods suddenly look incredibly attractive after you've had a couple of drinks. And I think Sophie's joining us, which is why I can hear the noise. Heather, can you mute that one? Hello? Heather, can you mute it?
We've lost Heather.
Yeah, we might have done. Okay, well, I'll keep talking and hope that you can hear me, because it's just cutting my sound out.
I can hear you, and I've muted everybody.
Okay, thank you. Right, okay. So, as I said, this leads on from something Sarah was saying about how food that's really bad for you looks incredibly attractive after you've had a couple of drinks. Well, the same thing, you know, I often hear people say that they've saved themselves for the evening, you know, that they're going out and they're going to have this massive meal, and so therefore they haven't eaten anything all through the day, and it's an incredibly bad thing to do for your blood sugar levels. But also it's a bad thing to be hungry when you go shopping, because you just make really bad choices. So as Sarah said, eat what you would normally eat, and if you're on the isogenics program, then, you know, do a 2 shake day. Have a shake for breakfast, have a shake for lunch, and, you know, you've still got plenty of calories, if that's how you want to think about it, to play with in the evening. But you're more likely to make better choices. And hey, if you don't, at least you've had some really good nutrition in your body for the day. So there's always an upside to it, even if you do overeat. So don't go out feeling hungry. Tip number 2 comes from Heather, our gorgeous Heather, who is on the call, and that is commit to exercising. Plan your exercise the night before is something that she talked about in her 12 days of fitness that she's currently doing on her Facebook page. I'm loving those posts, Heather, by the way. They're just such cool, easy tips. Do follow her, because you'll see them. And it's really just some great things from somebody who got into fitness, health and fitness, and exercising in particular in her 50s. So it's a really great source of information. So this one is a photo from Heather that she said saying, get prepared the night before. If you know you're going to go and do some exercise, get everything out the night before, because it's so easy to give ourselves excuses. But if you actually wake up and see your gym kit or whatever it is you're going to do already prepared, then you're more likely to go and do it. And another thing I always say is go with a friend, because if you've committed to somebody else that you're going to get up and go and do some exercise, you're not very likely to let each other down, and you can keep each other going. It's something that I know that's definitely worked for me and Jan when we've been going to the gym together. And then if you've really got no time to set aside for exercising, one of my favourite things to do, and this happens if you've got a big family and you entertain a lot, and I love entertaining, is we're big fans in this house of salsa and Latino music. And so Olu will quite often put some on whilst I'm cooking, and I just dance while I cook. And, you know, when was the last time you actually danced with somebody? It's quite good fun to have a 5-minute break as you whiz around the living room, doing a bit of salsa, and then back to your cooking. So you really can fit exercise in if you're committed to it. Tip number 3, keep the cost of meals down. Now, this is something that was taught to me years ago by a chef. And she said, serve the vegetables and put the meat on the table. So the idea is, rather than having loads and loads of serving dishes on the table full of vegetables, you put the vegetables on the plates that you put in front of people, and then you hand the meat platter or whatever else it is round, and people take their own meat, and you will find that people take less. It also will prevent you from buying great big huge turkeys and sides of beef and God knows what else. And I promise you this works brilliantly. But the other thing is, people won't feel so stuffed afterwards because you've given them the rainbow to eat and you've kept it really healthy, and veggies are cheaper than our protein sources. So, and a healthy idea for dessert, because face it, how often do we actually eat 3 courses? We don't really need it, and we always end up feeling bloated. So it's better to do something a little bit smaller and think about something maybe that's not quite so traditional, but it does go a very long way. So my absolute dinner party favorite, because it's really easy, is to get a load of berries, freeze them, and then as I'm serving the main meal, so if the strawberries in there, I'll slice them up. And as I'm serving the main meal, take the berries out of the freezer so that by the time you come to use them, they are semi-frozen. And you make a white chocolate sauce to pour over them that is hot. So you serve the fruits into the dish, and then you pour over a hot white chocolate sauce, which is just the same quantity of cream to white chocolate. And it works incredibly well. The next one is sleep. Now, sleep deprivation is a torture method for a very good reason. It works. It really does work. A lack of it upsets just so many of our body systems and functions, including our psychological and our hormonal functions, which keep us in balance and keep an eye on our stress levels. So how much sleep do you need? That's a question that I'm often asked, and there are so many different ways of looking at this. But if you look at the sleep cycle, the average sleep cycle, is 1.5 hours. And we need 4 of those to get the main housekeeping done and to get some decent sleep. So if possible, it's best to get 5. So 7.5 hours is the optimum amount of time, and more than that is great, but 7.5 hours will do you really well. And why do you want the 5th sleep cycle? Well, you may know that our sleep cycle is divided up into different segments. There's NREM 1, 2, and 3. There's hypnagogic. There's hypnopompic. And there is our REM sleep. Well, when we get into our 5th cycle, we spend a lot more time in our REM sleep. And it is in our REM sleep when all of the physical stuff calms down and our body really does take some rest, and we start to process things that have been concerning us, or perhaps we're a bit anxious about. There was a very interesting study done at the Sorbonne, and they said that students who had dreams about being anxious before their exams performed 20% better than students that didn't have those types of dreams and didn't have that type of sleep. So it can actually prepare us for better performance the next day. There you go. 7.5 hours sleep is the optimum. And my last tip is to try and silence the perfectionist in you. Seriously, I really mean this. I say this all the time to my students. Only you know what 100% is. So if you're trying to get something absolutely perfect for Christmas Day, just think about if you dialed it back to 95%, how much time would that save you? And then you could spend that time on yourself, doing something that just enables you to what I call decompress. Take some time out, whether it's time to meditate, have a bath, read a book, but just spend some time by yourself. So I hope you've enjoyed those tips and I hope you find them useful. Before I hand over to Sophie, I would just like to say that if anybody on the call knows somebody who'd like to join us in future, or is interested about the Isogenics program or products, then our next team call is actually on Monday, the 30th of December, and you'll be really welcome to invite people onto that. If you want to do that, then get in touch with the person that invited you onto this call. Sophie, over to you.
Thanks, guys. Sorry I was a bit late. The wonders of families and Christmas, there's a rumour. So that leads me beautifully on to my little segment, and excuse the dogs in the background. So one of the bonuses for me of having Isogenics in my life is that at the end of the day, I have the ability, boys, I'm just trying to stop Loki from making too much noise, is having the ability to have the best nutrition on hand to help me have fun. Because Christmas is about fun, guys. And if I have to give up my life, it gets a bit useless. Loki, come here. Come on. The wonders of don't ever work with animals and children, okay? Loki, shush. Come here. Come here. Come and join in. So anyway, to get back to basics. So what have we got? You've been out, you've enjoyed yourself, you've drunk a little bit too much, perhaps, because you're living a life. That's the important. And one of the big things is we dehydrate, okay? So Isogenics have created, which I've got around here that I have a feeling that Loki's gone and eaten. Well, I hope he hasn't gone. Here we are, right, is our Amped Hydrate. So electrolyte balance, guys. A tip. Julia's done some fabulous tips. For the amount of alcohol you're drinking, always drink water alongside. It makes a huge difference to your body. And you will do better and feel better with it. But if you've got your Amped Hydrate in the morning afterwards, you'll be balancing your electrolytes, you'll feel a lot better. And there's no artificial crap in this. Really important to get your body back on the nutritional tree. Secondly, at the end of the day, is our amazing 24 grams of undenatured protein in our shakes. So guys, that morning afterwards, when you are feeling pretty ropey, okay, please don't, reach for the fried egg and bacon if you can handle it, because actually you probably will feel a lot worse. Get some good quality nutrition in, and wherever you are at the end of the day, mix it with water. There's no fanciness to it at the end of the day. Done, dusted, and you will feel better. But also your gut will start feeling happier, having you had that break from your gorgeous nutrition and some fun. And then lastly, guys, don't know what I'd do without these little babies, these shots. So I've got a bit of a tip for you. Have one the night before you go out, all right? So particularly New Year's Eve and all that jazz, if you want to stay up a bit later, these will help you. Beautiful, beautiful ancient herbs at the end of the day. At the end of the day, what's in here is a good quality caffeine without the come down you get from normal caffeine, okay? Sourced from green tea, yerba mate, all the good botanicals in here that'll make you feel better and enable you to boogie even longer, including if you want to boogie around that kitchen, guys, or mums or dads that are cooking, feeling that you're losing the plot, this is the baby to take. But that following morning, guys, when you've rehydrated with your electrolytes, you've taken your shake to get you back on the go, this little baby will get you going, particularly when everybody else is tired and emotional the following day. And you cannot be tired and emotional because you're fed by the best rocking nutrition on the planet to enable you to be the best, most authentic version of yourself always, but always help you with that little bit of a hangover cure. Hope that helps.
Love it. Sophie, that's so cool. So, and everyone, Jan, the recipes are awesome. Julia, thank you. I agree. Sleeper is just the number one. You really nailed it. And Sarah, you are the queen of your bits. I'm loving your 12 days of Christmas like so much. It's really, really, really cool. So I just want to jump on quickly to close this out. I'm all about living from a place of prevention and moving into 2020. That's my solid message with everything to do with Isogenics. It is 10 years that in February, it's 10 years that I've been working with this program, which is just crazy. It's gone so fast. And I really want to move the conversation away from 30 days, 90 days. We're giving your body a reboot, but then we're living from a place of prevention. In 10 years' time, I'll be 68. I know how strong and fit and healthy in that I'll be. Where will you be? So this time of year does challenge some of us emotionally with families and stuff like that. So living from a place of prevention, this is the best time to start the program. It really is. Even if you can do it so you can just slug down some ionics on Christmas Day and deal with the family or whatever it's got to be. Don't wait to do tired and cranky and all those kind of things. And absolutely, if you have a few too many alcoholic beverages in Shanghai, make sure you slug your ionics before you go to bed. I promise it helps you wake up better in the morning. I so danced my bum off in Shanghai last week. But I was happy that even when I was traveling the world, I had my products with me because I might have had a few chai tais while I was over there and was a little bit delicate. So it's just with everything, guys, just live from a place of prevention. So moving into next year, I'm excited that we've got our summer shred, or I'm not sure what you guys are calling it in the UK, but same thing, the New Year's shred, come from a place of prevention. Don't, manage your food. All of us, me too, manage our foods through the Christmas period. And if we start the program now, that's the best way to do it. So if you are watching this video and thinking about getting started, I promise this is a lifestyle program. You know, start the program. You will deal with Christmas Day, Boxing Day, all those things better. You have the option to be able to jump in and cleanse before, so that you close out this year stronger, emotionally kind of stronger, feeling better about yourself. You're not hitting the new year with regrets and all that stuff. So really think about living from a place of prevention. We have such an amazing team in the UK and all around the world to support everybody on this program. So just thank you for everything. Thank you so much for you guys. I love what we have in the UK. I'll be over there the second half of next year. No, I'm not giving you dates yet, but it's in the calendar for the second half of next year. And just, you know, let's just be our strongest, fittest, healthiest, happiest versions of ourselves. This is the most realistic program that I've ever found for people to be able to live from that place of prevention. Give yourself a reboot, but then show where you want to be in 10, 20, 30 years' time. Holy shit, we don't have to turn into little old ladies. We can be strong and fit and healthy all the way through our lives, physically, emotionally, and mentally. So I just wanted to jump in and say thank you for everything you've brought to my life, everything you've brought to the team, and everything you've brought to each other. It's priceless, the work that we get to do with this program, as well as keep ourselves strong, fit, and healthy on every level. So hand it back to you, Heather, to close out the call.
Thank you, guys. That was absolutely awesome. Loved every tip, everything. And I just want to mirror the words that Jen has said. You're all so special to us, to Neil, to me. We just love these calls. It's awesome. And particularly seeing my best school buddy, Deb, on the call, who we met when we were 16 years old. And when Jen was saying that about, you know, we don't have to grow old, I'm like, yeah, we don't have to grow old. We're just living life together. So it's really cool to see you on, Deb, and to see everybody else on the call. And we're just really looking forward to a whole amazing series of calls just like this in the new year. So the next one is with Julia, Sophie, and Sarah, opportunity call. So really looking forward to that, and we'll be sending you the information on that. And then we will see you the first Monday of the new year. So can't wait. Woohoo! Thank you, guys. Feel free to unmute and thank each other. Wish you all an incredible Merry Christmas. Have a blast. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe. And loads of love to you and all of your families. Take care. See ya.
Happy Christmas.
Bye. Happy Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry
Bye.
Christmas. Woo. Bye.